The Coconut Oil Miracle, author Bruce Fife. Introduction. Some years ago, when I was in a meeting with a group of nutritionists, one of the members of the group made the statement, "Coconut oil is good for you." We all gasped in disbelief. Coconut oil? Healthy? Preposterous, we thought. Everywhere we go, we're told how bad coconut oil is because it's a source of artery clogging saturated fat. How could coconut oil be good for you? She knew we would doubt her statement and explained. Coconut oil has been unjustly criticized and is really one of the good fats. She cited several studies proving to us that it wasn't the evil villain it was made out to be, and it actually provided many valuable health benefits. I learned that for several decades it has been used in hospital IV solutions to feed critically ill patients, and that it is a major component of baby formula because it provides many of the same nutrients as human breast milk. I learned that coconut oil could be used to treat a number of common illnesses and is considered by the Food and Drug Administration to be safe, natural food. It's on the FDA's exclusive GRAS list, which means it's generally regarded as safe. After the meeting, I was intrigued. I had learned a lot, but it brought up many questions that troubled me. For instance, if coconut oil was good, why is it so often portrayed as being unhealthy? If the health benefits are real, why haven't we heard of them before? Why don't we hear about the use of coconut oil in hospitals, baby formula, and elsewhere? If it is good for the sick and very young, why wouldn't it be good for us as well? Why would the government include it on its list of safe foods if it were dangerous or unhealthy? Why aren't the studies on coconut oil better publicized? Why have we been misled? Or have we? Perhaps coconut oil is bad, and hospital patients and parents of formula-fed babies are being deceived. These and many more questions filled my mind. I had to find the answers. I began a search to find out anything and everything I could about coconut oil. The first thing I discovered was that very little has been written about coconut oil in magazines and books. Even my nutritional textbooks were relatively silent on the subject. No one seemed to know about it. Almost everything I came across in the popular health literature was critical, stating that coconut oil is bad because it's high in saturated fat. Each author seemed to parrot the others, giving no further explanation. It was almost like a royal decree had been sent out to all authors stating that they must say the exact same thing about coconut oil in order to be politically correct, but not necessarily accurate. Saying anything different was against the rules, and that was that. I did find a very few, authors who stood up to this rhetoric and stated bluntly that coconut oil wasn't bad, but they didn't give much detail either. It seemed that nobody really knew anything about it. The only place I could find cold, hard facts was in often ignored research journals. Here I found a goldmine of information and the answers to all my questions. This was the best place for me to search because these journals report the actual results of studies and are not simply people's opinions, as is most of the material in popular magazines and books. They were literally hundreds of studies published in dozens of most respected scientific and medical journals. What I learned was absolutely amazing. I found out that coconut oil is one of the most remarkable health foods available. I felt as if I had rediscovered an ancient health food that the world had almost forgotten about. I also learned why coconut oil has been maligned and misunderstood. I will get into that later, and the answer may shock you, even anger you. I started using coconut oil myself and began recommending it to my clients. I'm a certified nutritionist and naturopathic physician. I've seen it get rid of chronic psoriasis, eliminate dandruff, remove pancreas skin lesions, remove precancerous skin lesions, speed recovery from the flu, stop bladder infections, overcome chronic fatigue, and relieve hemorrhoids, among other things. In addition to this, the scientific literature reports it's possible using in treating dental cavities, peptic ulcers, benign prostatic hyperplasia, enlarged prostate, cancer, epilepsy, Alzheimer's, I knew it, genital herpes, hepatitis C, and HIV/AIDS. Yes, as incredible as it sounds, I learned that coconut oil can be used to fight AIDS, a dreadful disease that has been considered incurable. Many AIDS patients have already benefited. Let me relate one example. In September 1996, HIV patient Chris Defoe of Cloverdale, Indiana, figured his time was running out. He'd lost a great deal of weight, lacked energy, and felt worse and worse with each passing day. His lab results seemed like the final nail in his coffin. They showed he had a viral load of over 600,000, an indication of rampant HIV infection and a sign that he didn't have too much time left to live. So he made arrangements for his funeral, paying all his expenses up front. Before he died, however, and while he still had some strength left, he wanted to take one last vacation, a dream vacation to the jungles of South America. He flew to the tiny republic of Suriname and wound his way into the jungle, where he stayed briefly among a group of the country's indigenous people. While there, he ate the same foods as the natives, including a daily serving of cooked coconut. The Indian chief told me, says Defoe, that they use the coconut as the basis for all their medicines. They also use the milk from the inside of the coconut and also use other plants and herbs from the jungle to make medicines. They eat cooked coconut every morning to help prevent illness. While there, Defoe's health took a turn for the better. His strength and energy increased, and he regained 32 pounds, 16 kilograms. Home again. 6 weeks later, he went in for another lab test. This time, the results showed his viral load had plummeted to undetectable levels. The HIV virus that once flooded his body was no longer measurable. He continues eating coconut for breakfast every day, mixing it with hot cereal. He is convinced that it keeps the virus under control and allows him to enjoy good health. With the renewed zest for life, he says, "I feel great. I have more energy than ever." Another remarkable benefit of coconut oil is its ability to prevent heart disease. Yes, I said prevent heart disease. While for years we've been led to believe that coconut oil promotes this condition, research proves otherwise. In fact, in the near future, it may gain wide acceptance as a powerful aid in the fight against heart and other cardiovascular diseases. I've continued to research coconut and other oils. I've been so impressed with the potential health benefits available from coconut oil that I felt an obligation to share what I've learned with the rest of the world. That's why I've written you this book. Before I go any further, let me state right here that I do not sell coconut oil or have any financial interest in the coconut oil industry. My purpose in writing this book is to dispel myths and misconceptions about and reveal to you some of the many healing miracles of coconut oil. What will you learn in this book, or what you will learn in this book, may sound incredible, at times maybe even too incredible. But I didn't make this stuff up. Every statement I make in this book is verified by published scientific studies, historical records, and personal experience. If you want to check them out, references and additional resources are listed in the back of this book. Whenever I talk about coconut oil, the first thing people think is, isn't that bad for you? This may have been your reaction when you first saw this book. Stop and think about it for a minute. All you need to do is use a little common sense, and you will see how ridiculous it is to think of coconut oil as being harmful. Coconuts and coconut oil have been used as a major source of food for thousands of years by millions of people in Asia, the Pacific Islands, Africa, and Central America. Traditionally, these people have had much better health than those in North America and Europe who don't eat coconut. Before the introduction of modern foods, many of these people depended almost entirely on coconut to sustain life. They didn't suffer from heart disease, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, and other modern degenerative diseases, at least not until they abandoned their traditional coconut based diets and began eating modern foods. It should be or soon will become obvious that that coconut oil isn't the evil villain, and has been generally considered to be.